Hello, it's Adam Hill. I'm the editor of ITS International magazine, and welcome to the latest in our In Focus series. And this one is on private equity. We're talking to Steve Sandbo of Vance Street Capital, and I started by asking him, how do you decide what markets to invest your money in?
When we think about attractive industries, it's really looking for a couple of core elements, but I think at a fundamental level, it's really looking for industries that value the solution that your business can ultimately provide to the market. And by value the solution, it's the engineering content that typically goes into solving difficult problems for your customers, where they're coming to you because you're an extension of their team. They're coming to you because the quality that you can provide it with, the engineering content, the speed at which you're able to deliver on that, and trying to stay away from commodity markets where it's the cheapest widget wins. And that really goes hand in hand with markets where it's solving difficult problems or solving problems that really matter, whether that's pedestrian safety, traffic congestion, tolling, et cetera. So I think that's a reason why you've seen certainly the ITS space become a little bit more of a focused area. I think it's looking for markets where you've got strong demand drivers. And, that really becomes public and private sector investment, an investment over a period of time. Sectors that aren't necessarily going to ebb and flow significantly based upon an underlying commodity price, but really sectors that are going to sustain themselves over an extended period of time. I think it's looking for sectors where there's enough fragmentation where you can ultimately compete. It's not dominated by one or two players, but looking for markets where the smaller players, the founder-owned businesses, the up-and-comers are able to compete, especially when you look at investing into growth, whether it's technology innovation, whether it's building out sales channels, whether it's trying to think about serving the customers quicker and better from a quality perspective, from a customer engagement perspective. So it's really trying to find sectors that value those attributes when we think about what makes an attractive sector at the end of the day.
Why should companies in the ITS sector get involved with private equity firms? What do those firms bring to the table? How do you move things forward?
Might be a little bit biased in this response, but I think private equity can be a great partner to the ITS sector when you think about growth. The word that really comes to mind is innovation, investment into engineering, innovation, advancing technology and product development. And I think that's going to be one area that private equity in particular focuses on when you think about growing these organizations. I think sometimes that means an organization that needed those extra three or four engineers, where, as currently capitalized, they wouldn't be able to necessarily do that. I think growth investments, certain organizations aren't going to be able to access the level of capital that they otherwise could, having a private equity partner who's looking to put more money into growth, building out sales channels, building out that next manufacturing facility to improve throughput, improve capacity, reduce lead times. And I think human capital is an area that private equity tends to be a big investor in. When you think about building out scalable teams and investing, a little bit ahead of when you might actually need those resources, but making sure that, when that next big program comes, that project comes, those two or three initiatives you wanted to chase, but now you want to chase the next three or four, you've got the team in place to be able to go do that. So I think private equity can be really beneficial when you think about trying to help this sector scale, help them ultimately get to some of these solutions that are talked about today, that we can get there a little bit quicker with capital partners who are more oriented towards growing and helping businesses try to get there quicker and get there almost in a bit of a de-risked manner. So I think private equity can be a great partner to the ITS sector.
And finally, what opportunities in intelligent transportation has private equity identified?
I think the private equity sector is drawn into the ITS space because it is a big and growing market, but because there's some pretty interesting smaller subsectors within the overall ITS segment. Intelligent traffic management is one. A space that we've certainly seen investment into is anything in and around safety, whether it's vulnerable road users, vehicles, bikes, pedestrians, businesses that ultimately help facilitate that. When you look at the cabinet space, you look at traffic data services, transportation planning and software, and traffic management systems, that's a sector that I think certainly has seen recent activity. Second one, transportation infrastructure, whether that's vehicle identification, whether it's fare collection, tolling and hardware systems. Certainly a space that I think you'll continue to see private equity be excited to invest in. One that's seen investment, I think we'll continue to see investment is smart parking. whether it's access control, but then getting a little bit further up the tech stack into data collection and software, and what do you ultimately do with that data, and even getting into congestion pricing. I think that's a space that you'll continue to see people excited about. And I think the one that probably comes up most frequently, but I think people are trying to figure out from an investment perspective, where is the right place to play is connected vehicles. There's not a conversation that we have these days where the question of how does this business factor into connected vehicles come up. And I think a lot of it gets into connectivity. But then whether it's collision avoidance, whether it's smart cell and backhaul technologies, roadside and onboard units, I think it's an exciting space, but I think it's one that frankly people are trying to figure out in the investment community. Where is the right place to place these bets, support businesses, given how innovative and fast moving that particular sector is. But across the board, I think ITS is going to be one that sees a lot of continued investment and interest from the private equity community.
And that's it. Thanks very much indeed to Steve for answering the questions, and thank you to you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe at the links below, and we'll see you next time.